My name is Patricia Smith. My son, Sean, was one of 4 brave Americans killed during the 2012 terrorist attack at Benghazi. Sean was a wonderful son and father to my 2 amazing grandchildren, Samantha and Nathan, now 10 and 11. He was proud to serve his country with the United States Foreign Service. The last time I talked to Sean, the night before the terrorist attack, he told me, "Mom, I am going to die." All security had been pulled from the embassy, he explained, and when he asked why, he never received a response. Nobody listened, nobody seemed to care. The very next day, he was murdered by radical Islamic terrorists. To this day, I don't even know why a computer guy like Sean was sent to Benghazi. That night, we lost sons, brothers, fathers, and husbands. We lost 4 brave Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice for the country they chose to serve, and the American people lost the truth. For all of this loss, for all of this grief, for all of the cynicism the tragedy in Benghazi has wrought upon America, I blame Hillary Clinton. I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son. That's personally. In an email to her daughter shortly after the attack, Hillary Clinton blamed it on terrorism. But when I saw Hillary Clinton, she sure is. She sure is. She lied to me and then called me a liar. How could she do this to any American family? Donald Trump is everything Hillary Clinton is not. He is blunt, direct, and strong. He speaks his mind and his heart. And when it comes to the threat posed by radical Islamic terrorism, he will not hesitate to kill the terrorists who threaten American lives. He will make America stronger, not weaker. This entire campaign comes down to a single question. If Hillary Clinton can't give us the truth, why should we give her the presidency? That's right, Hillary for prison. She deserves to be in stripes.
Let's bring in Congressman Adam Schiff, who, after all, was ranking member, House Intelligence and Select Committee on Benghazi, 8-termer Democrat from California. Congressman, what do you make of the appearance, what she just said to this gathering, and the conversation you've been listening to?
Well, I agree with the comments about the lone survivor. I thought he gave a very powerful speech. Interestingly, said nothing about Donald Trump really to speak of. But watching Mrs. Smith, I have to say, was just very hard. She is deeply grieving. You have to respect that grief. But you don't have to respect the fact that the Republican National Committee and the Trump campaign have decided to exploit this tragedy the way they have. We met with most of the family, if not all the family members. They were divided in their view of the events, and I just think it terrible to try to exploit this terrible tragedy that the Republican Party would stoop to this. The Accountability Review Board looked into the handling of Benghazi. It did not lay responsibility at the feet of the Secretary. The Benghazi Committee, on which I served for more than 2 years, invested $7 million to investigate again the events and buried its report, literally buried it in a final meeting 2 weeks ago in the basement of the Capitol in a closed session because there was really nothing to report. You know, I think that this has been consummately politicized in the most blatant way. We've lost a great many people over the years around the world at diplomatic facilities under Democratic presidents, under Republican presidents, a great many under Ronald Reagan, for example. We've never politicized a tragedy like this, and I just think it really unfortunate to bring a grieving woman before the convention this way.
I knew Ambassador Stevens and spent some time with him in Benghazi during the war, and it was a very chaotic time. It was a time where you didn't know which militias you could trust. You were feeling a lot of support one day from a particular rebel group if you were helping them, but then if they didn't feel like they were getting enough help, they might turn on you. And I think that's really what happened here. The U.S. was relying on a particular militia for security, didn't fully understand how serious the situation had become in Benghazi. Ambassador Stevens, who'd been away, had just come back, was very keen to get to Benghazi, and he found himself in a situation that really he was unprepared for. The entire embassy setup there was unprepared for. So it does talk about a misunderstanding of the security situation, a misread of how dangerous Benghazi was, and then a response that, whether it was perfect or imperfect, has been studied time and time again, but that ultimately left an ambassador and 3 others killed. But to hear this grieving mother, and you can only sympathize with her grief, to lay the blame directly at Hillary Clinton, saying that Hillary was responsible for her son's death, personally responsible, it doesn't correspond with the facts as I know them and as I've read them in subsequent investigations, and it does seem to be a manipulation of someone's grief and going to a very dark place.
Richard Engle joining us from Istanbul tonight. Richard, I know it's the before dawn there. Thanks for staying up to the middle of the night. Be with us. Appreciate it.